Art, and you're listening to the Smacked Raw podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Smacked Raw podcast, the official recap show of WrestlingNewsWorld.com, and also found right here on YouTube / Smacked Raw podcast and everywhere else podcasts are found. I'm your pretty much regular Monday Night Raw host, Kyle, joined by the good old AJ Styles of podcast and Sebastian. What's going on,
What's
my
up,
friend?
man? Much, man. Enjoyed a nice Raw last night. Watched the Fairback pay-per-view this morning. Just watching some wrestling.
Yeah, this is our first time recording on a Tuesday in quite some time. Vince and I used to host the show live on Tuesday mornings. But last night, we normally record after the show, but I'm not going to lie, I was way too tired after Raw went off the air. Doesn't help, I'm actually kind of tired right now. I'm on my second Red Bull. However, that does not take away from the show of Raw that we had. It was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot, actually.
Yeah. I have to apologize, guys. I'm kind of tired. It's been a combination of things. It's been a really downer week in the wrestling world, and I'm not going to get too much into it just because I'm sure we're all plenty beat up.
It's been a week.
It has been a week, and of course it's not like we're trying to say it's affected us negatively. There's a lot of other people out there. You don't need us to tell you all about it. They're the ones really struggling. But it's just been a hard week for wrestling fans.
It's been a rough one.
Yeah. And then personally speaking, my ass is wore out because of my shoot job. So get this, Sebastian. Okay. I work a retail store for a major wireless company. If you do some digging, you'll probably find out who I work for. I do a sales position, so I'm on the floor dealing with customers. In my store, we only have 3 employees that run the store. It's just 3 of us throughout every week. And in the matter of about 3 or 4 days last week, my store got broken into. They smashed in the back door. They robbed a whole bunch of cell phones and Bluetooth speakers. Well, the store manager, my boss, he gets fired for it because that caused a lot of the bigwigs to come in, and they didn't blame him for the robbery, but they were able to see all the stuff he was slacking on. So it kind of it forced him. It kind of showed that he was lying about some inventory. I didn't get too much into it. I was like, I don't want no part of this, but he gets fired. So now it's down to 2 of us, right? My other coworker, just a couple days later, tells me she's fresh off vacation. She was staying with a friend who has COVID, and so she had to go get tested. She's out, and then confirmed yesterday she's got COVID. So I've been running this store by myself, and I come to find out someone I interacted with last week has got COVID. So me doing the right thing, I went out, I got tested today. It's been a week since I contacted her. Neither myself or my family have any symptoms, so I think we're in the clear. But I'm just doing my due diligence, and I got tested, but now I'm out. So my shoot job has 0 employees right now.
Oh, for a few days.
Yeah, I think they're pulling people from other stores. It's just that the closest locations are all like 30 or 40 minutes from us. So I feel for whoever is in my store trying to run it right now, because they got to deal with customers 10 hours a day minimum, and after they got to drive like probably 45 minutes to an hour. So I do not envy whoever's trying to fill in for me and everybody else at my place.
I started a new job in the last week, so it's been
That's
busy
right,
for
you
me,
did,
too.
didn't you? Congratulations.
Like you, 10-hour days, so.
Yeah, 10-hour days, my friend. I can't complain too much though, because in the phone retail business, it's not hard work. I've done hard work. I've worked in book printing factories. I actually printed one of the Harry Potter books. We had to sign a what's those non-disclosure agreements, like an NDA or something.
Yes.
Yeah, we had to sign off one of those things that we wouldn't like actually steal the Harry Potter books and like sell the bootleg copies of them before they officially were published. And then I've also built homes and stuff in like home factories. So really, I got no reason to complain. A 10-hour day at my job consists of like talking to people, sitting in air conditioning, and playing on my cell phone all day. So it's not hard work. It's just long work. That's all.
My least favorite part is getting home at like 8:30 and then my daughter having to go to bed in like an hour and a half. That's the sucky part.
Yeah. No, we can relate there. I pick my boys up at typically 8:45. Their bedtime's 9. So a lot of the time, yeah, we're just straight to bed.
Yeah. That's the only sucky part for me.
Yeah. But it puts food on the table, man. Puts food on the table. Keeps the lights on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, better off than a lot of people right now, so we can't complain too much. Other stuff we can't complain about was Monday Night Raw.
I guess that depends on who you talk to. I enjoyed it a lot, but it was split on Twitter for some reason. I don't understand.
I mean, it's the internet, man. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
But my poll, it was like a B, so that was cool.
Oh, yeah?
People who hated it didn't vote, I guess.
Your polls get some good interaction, man.
I guess some of them. Sometimes it's 20, some votes. Sometimes it's up near 100. It just depends.
Man, I'm lucky if I get like 3 to 4 people to interact with my tweets. But then again, I'm not really that active. I'm a big retweeter. Like, I'll scroll and I'll retweet the shit out of stuff. But usually when I'm scrolling social media, I'm comatose. I'm not trying to think of original thoughts, so I'm terrible at tweeting, man.
I like the old tweeter.
The old tweeter. But anyways, yeah, there were definitely some highlights. We had some debuts. We had new feuds. We had title changes. We had a plethora of title shots. If you're watching this on YouTube, you've already seen it. I called it Championship Monday Night or something like that is what Raw called it. Because they had 4 title matches last night scheduled. I think we had 5 in total, though. Was the 24/7 championship, was that one of the advertised 4 title matches, or was that was?
Yeah, so it's still 4.
Okay, so it was 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a total of 5. So what title match did we not get?
I think there was only.
No, there is only 4. No, there is 4 because you have 24/7 U.S. Heavyweight Championship. Tag. Oh, so the heavyweight championship match or title is the only one that didn't get put up for grabs last night.
Yeah,
okay.
the women's tag titles.
They count. They count towards it. So yeah, if you count there, that's 5. That's a potential 5. So we got 4 out of 5 title matches on Monday.
I thought you meant 5 was advertised, and I was like, I don't remember the title match.
I was just trying to think about how many potential title shots you could put on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah,
5. How did we kick off the show? Because I didn't take any notes because I was very sleepy, like I said. So I'm just going to be plagiarizing CBS Sports like I used to.
Okay. We'll just start off, man. Drew came out, was cutting a promo and interrupted by his old friend, Dolph Ziggler.
So Dolph is kind of who helped introduce Drew to the main roster on his comeback.
Yeah, and that's basically the story of the promo. Dolph, does what Dolph does and was crediting himself everything that was going on, saying he was responsible for Drew's redemption story and all that good stuff. And he thought he deserved a title match. And Drew, and I know I saw a lot of people, this is all you got to do to get a match against Drew is ask for it. But hey, when Drew won the title, he said he will never turn down a challenge. He's kept that up. He accepted, and we're going to have the match at Extreme Rules.
You can't complain too much. That's how New Japan does a lot of their title shots too.
Yeah, I know, but some people just, But man, a lot of people don't want to see this match. I'm down for it. Dolph always delivers in title matches. You can go back to his stuff with the Miz. You can go back to his one match with Dean Ambrose at the time.
He feels like an afterthought, though. Like,
He does.
I cannot ever think that he realistically will win a championship outside of probably the 24/7 title or a tag title. Like, I can't even think that he'll win another secondary title, especially the heavyweight.
I wouldn't mind seeing him get another secondary.
I'm not saying I wouldn't mind it. It's just like they've done. He's hit a ceiling so frequently that the idea of him surpassing that level just doesn't seem realistic, and kind of takes the stakes out of a Dolph Ziggler match.
Yeah, we do always get. It seems like once a year we get a Dolph World Title match. Remember last year was against Kofi.
I'd be interested to see how many World Title matches he's had.
I think he's had one every year.
You'd have to think he's got a terrible record.
Oh, he does. But to me, this match isn't really. I'm not excited about this match about it being a 50-50 split on who's going to win or anything like that. I think it's obvious Drew's going to win. But there's really no point in having Bobby Lashley lose 3 title matches in a row.
Yeah.
It's hard to find an ever one-time match that doesn't have, a lot of story built around it. At least with this story, these guys have a backstory, and they can use that. And like I said, it's going to be a good match. Dolph never has a bad title match.
No, I was. If you didn't touch on it, I was going to say, Dolph is, he's a very good in-ring guy. And then I've been saying it for the last several months. Drew has proven that he can have a great match with just about anybody. So I imagine they'll have some fun. We'll probably, if you didn't, we skipped over. Dolph Ziggler not only announced that he wants the title match, he announced that he was one half of the trade for AJ Styles. The other person coming with him is his tag team partner, Robert Roode, who was not present. Isn't Roode out right now for some shenanigans, or is it an injury? I want to say he got caught with like steroids or something.
He did, but then he did come back. Remember during the Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin thing, he made a return there.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's just injury right now. I say, if I was guessing, just because they name dropped him, he's ready to come back.
He's got to be ready to come back or very close to it.
He'll probably come back around that Extreme Rules, probably interfere in that match.
Yeah, I can see that. What preceded this?
We had Nia Jax come out and try to hijack the show. The classic get a chair, sit in the ring, not going nowhere.
One of those little in-ring sit-ins by the heel. I'm not leaving, and then she got interrupted. So this I was half in and out because I think during this segment it was playing on my phone and I was driving, so I could at least absorb the audio portion of the show. So R-Truth came out with And R-Truth now feuding with, Tozawa and the Ninjas?
Yeah. That was who he's slated the face later in the night for the 24/7 championship. I kind of enjoyed this as a callback kind of way, because if you want to go back on the 2019 Rumble, R-Truth was the one that Jax took out to interrupt Men's Royal Rumble match. So it's kind of cool to see R-Truth get some payback there.
I did see the whole joke, or at least I heard the joke, where R-Truth was accusing Nia Jax of being Tozawa in disguise. Because ninjas are masters of, deception or something.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Then we did another interruption. Charlotte Flair comes out. Really missed opportunity here. I don't know. It seemed like they was going there, but Nia Jax made a comment about Flair's family being the daughter of Rick.
Did Charlotte bring up The Rock?
She teased it. She's like, "You're one to talk about family," and then right when she started to say something to finish that line off, she asked somebody to help her in the ring.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was like, what a missed. I'm like, dude, Jax has no room to talk about nepotism in the business, man.
Especially when you hurt somebody every week.
Besides that, I would think so. Let's put it like this: if one of them. If you were like, okay, between these two, one has to go if they're not related to their relative. Meaning Charlotte's not related to Ric Flair. Nia Jax is not related to The Rock. You got to fire one. You fire Nia. Right?
Look, I know this is a big thing. To me, Charlotte Flair is as good as she is without being Ric Flair's daughter. I know there's a lot of people.
I've always said that. Yeah.
Look, if you can't, I understand. You probably don't want to see her every week. But what do you want to do? Do you want to bring somebody that's a lot less talented in there just so they get an opportunity? They're here to make money. They're going to put the best people they got out there. And Charlotte, like it or not, is probably top 3 at least. Probably top 2 now. Becky's gone. I'd say her and Asuka.
I've put her as, she's one of the best wrestlers on the planet regardless of gender.
Absolutely.
As far as all-around package.
So to me, I don't get mad that she's on every week. They can throw out there. I don't blame them. You got a star. Imagine if they didn't throw Rock or Stone Cold out there every week.
Yeah.
They can add it there. I mean,
Charlotte will definitely be one of those people that when she's gone, like people like currently that are pissing and moaning about her being on television, they'll be the ones telling their kids and the younger generations like, I got to watch Charlotte Flair like in her prime. Because she's gonna go down as a legend, like as a bona fide legend, regardless of being Ric Flair's daughter. In my opinion,
it could. They kind of teased it last night. By the time it's over, it could be that Charlotte Flair's dad. I mean, Charlotte's that good, in my opinion.
Yeah. So yeah, Charlotte and Nia Jax, they brawl, and Charlotte hurts her left or right arm, one of her arms, gets noticeably injured during the brawl. She's favoring it. Commentary is all over it, and obviously and they're also playing into she's got a title match later in the evening with Asuka, so we obviously know she's now going to go into the title match injured, definitely leaving the feeling that like, okay, she's going to lose and it's going to be via her arm. And we'll touch on how that match plays out and the setup to that match once we get there, because I definitely had a couple key points I wanted to touch on with that. What preceded this? Was this the tag team championships?
Yeah, it was the Viking Raiders and Street Profits.
Well, it looks like CBS might actually have their stuff in chronological order today. That's cool.
It was a solid match. I feel like they've had better matches.
Before the match, the backstage segment, I love that they kind of gave themselves like an 80s jingle. They said something like, when danger's afoot, and everyone throws their arms up like, Viking Profits! And it was just so, it was so charming. I popped. I want these guys to be like comedy hero Avengers. I want to see them just having a whole bunch of adventures together. I think that their personalities really complement each other. At first, I was totally against the Viking Raiders being revealed to be like some like goofballs, but as long as they are allowed to turn on the viciousness in the ring and still retain that dangerous tag team when they're in the match, I don't mind them having fun outside of the ring. I think there's a lot more depth to having fun and being comedic than just being ultra serious and dangerous 24/7. I mean, if you want to call back to some history, look at Kane when he was part of Hell No. You're talking like one of the most serious and dangerous individuals inside the ring, delivering comedy gold when he was paired up with Daniel Bryan. And people liked that too.
You can go back further than that when he was with a tag team with Hurricane and
Hurricane Helms, yeah.
02, 03. Yeah, I mean, it's easy. It's easy done. Really. It really is. I don't know why some people harp on it so much. Not everything has to be serious 100%.
How about you guys in the live chat? Are you fans of Viking Profits and other serious wrestlers going down the comedic route? Or would you like them to be serious and not catch them doing carpool karaoke?
To me, it shows they're more flexible, man. I mean, if you can pull off both, that's going to make you look better in the long run, I believe. You got more things to do. If you can't pull off multiple roles, then you're pretty much handcuffed. You don't want to do that.
I think your cat's trying to get a cameo.
She's meowing at the door for some reason. I don't know what she's doing.
Yeah, your mic's picking it up clear as day. It's not
Anna.
Bad. But the mat. Don't mute yourself. It's okay. It's okay. You got a cat. Everyone knows by this point. The match ended up being really good. I did like that they gave this match a little extra flavor instead of just producing the same match and then having the Viking or the Street Profits win. I like that the Street Profits were chanting out like, anything you can do, we can do better. And then they hit, I think, Eric with the Viking experience. I thought that was really cool. I wonder, did they steal any other moves or was it just that?
I want to say Eric went for a splash.
Ivar did. Ivar went for a big splash, and he ended up coming up short. And I think that's actually what helped the Street Profits win, ultimately, in the end.
Yeah. Ford got up with that springboard.
Yeah. Dude. No animal abuse on the show, Sebastian.
I'm trying to tap my chair and get her to come over here so I can pet her. We recently put one cat outside, and I think that's the issue.
That's what it is. You split them up.
Well,
Splitting up the cats, man. But the real story of this was not in the finish and who won the match. It's what took place after the match. Because you see, prior in the evening, after the Viking Prophets, because they all kind of awkwardly walked to the ring together from their backstage promo. And they were like, okay, let's go settle in the ring. And then all four of them had to walk to the ring, from backstage at least, forward. As they went out of frame, Zelina Vega popped in frame. And she looked like, she got an idea. So fast forward after the match, the Street Profits have won. Viking Raiders and Street Profits have embraced each other. Like, we're all cool still. The Street Profits end up getting jumped by Andrade and Angel Garza. And obviously, they have now formed a tag team and are interjecting themselves in the title picture, which I'm excited for. I wasn't a fan of them splitting up and then going into solo acts because I feel like they would have got lost in the shuffle individually. So I instantly seeing them as a tag team, they seem much more threatening and menacing, and maybe the most dangerous that they'll be, even when they had Austin Theory, because they were obviously getting their asses kicked as a trio. So I'm thinking as a tag team, they might prove to be the most dangerous that they've been since the whole, what are we calling it, empty arena era, pandemic era, whatever it is.
Yeah, no fans there. I guess that's what I've seen it.
Yo, your cat wants to be on this show, man.
Go
ahead, just let him out the door. It's okay. For the podcast listeners, you can see Sebastian getting flustered by his cat. His cat is heckling him. Could have muted yourself, Seb. But no. So Andrade and Angel Garza, they go ahead. They attack the Street Profits. The Viking Raiders make their way back in. They run off the newfound tag team. And it was a good segment. It was good overall.
I brought him, but he left, so I don't know what he wants.
Oh, man. That cat is heckling you.
I don't know what's going on.
Is he inside or outside your room?
He's inside.
He's inside the room.
Yeah.
He just sees you get up. Cats know, man. They know he's like, uh-oh, I better back off for like 5
No,
minutes.
I sat down with him and he got up. Like I had him. I don't know.
I don't know, man. Was it the Raw Women's Championship match that followed this?
Sorry, I was getting a cat. Was you on the Andrade? Was you still on the tag stuff?
I covered all of it.
Okay. We did have a Rollins short promo backstage.
Oh, the 1,000-yard stare Rollins? That was creepy.
Yeah. Then after that, I believe Charlotte got checked on backstage. She just...
Oh, further leading into the story
LA.
Of the injured elbow.
Yeah, she leaning in the "This isn't ballet," classic line.
If you want, I can black out your screen while you smother your cat. Like, I'll turn your screen off really quick.
I just want to know what she's been out at, or he. Like, he's looking at the door. I feel like somebody's on my porch playing the break-in or something.
Oh,
God.
Oh, God. Go throw some food down for the cat or something.
It's plenty of food. I don't know,
man. I don't know. So yeah, Charlotte Flair's like, this ain't ballet. I'm not backing out of my match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Oh, my back.
I feel for you.
Then we had a Zelina Vega promo too, just bringing in the troops.
Yeah, Zelina Vega saying, "Hey, we're on the same page," going after the Raw Tag Team titles. Of course. Angel Garza continues to woo Charlie Caruso, who really seemed into it this time, because Charlie was interviewing Charlotte and looked over and saw Garza and approached Garza. And yeah, I'm wondering if this is actually going anywhere, or if this is just going to be like a running joke where Garza's just constantly trying to seduce Charlie Caruso.
I'm telling you, man, I want some sort of mitts tag match. I want Charlie in the ring.
So, weren't you suggesting the other week when it was teasing the breakup, Charlie and Angel Garza taking on Zelina and Andrade?
Yeah, sure. Let's have it.
Do that, man. Yeah, do that. But it was the women's championship match after this, right?
Yes.
It was. The match was a good one. I mean,
Really good.
it was really the story of Asuka continuing to go after the injured arm of Charlotte. At one point, Charlotte looking like she's going to try and counter the triangle choke that Asuka had her into a powerbomb, and Asuka was able to reverse it into the Asuka lock while hooking the injured arm, and we saw a very rare.
Right now, so Samoa Joe called it the chicken wing. I don't even think that was the actual Asuka lock.
Oh, he called it a chicken wing? I mean, it was a chicken wing.
Samoa Joe was going wild, man. He's like, chicken wing! Samoa Joe on commentary is the best freaking thing.
He really is. Like, the only reason we don't talk about it is because we would say the same thing every week, as Samoa Joe is just the best on commentary. Oh man, love his commentary on.
Yeah, hopefully he heals up and he gets back in the ring. But
I hope he can do double duty, man. I hope he can do double. I hope he can literally do commentary, and then like he's got like pull away suit, like he's got a breakaway suit and pants. He does his match, right? So he's like, oh, time for my match. He pulls off his headset, rips the breakaway suit. He goes out there in his shorts. He messes up his opponents, and then they cut to commercial. And when they come back, he's like doing the side buttons down the side of his suit, just snapping his suit back together.
I don't even want that, because I love the Samoa Joe fast-paced entrance with the towel around, everybody chanting Joe.
No, he can run up the ramp. He runs up the ramp and someone hands him his towel.
Okay, well
yeah, man.
Maybe. But regardless, man, when he's wrapped up, man, commentary's his thing. Like,
I don't want him to get off commentary though. I want him to do double, man. That could play into his story, man. A lot of feuds.
He's so good. So good. When he's into a match, like you actually watch him, and he'll be jumping out of his fucking chair.
I know,
like he's
man.
going wild.
Dude, he gets so giddy when you can tell someone legitimately got like a really painful move done to him.
Yeah.
Like when he knows like, oh, that legitimately hurt. Samoa Joe is like a child on Christmas. How happy it makes him.
His commentary on the Orton Edge match just blew me away.
Yeah.
It really did.
The unknown superstar blowouts in the chat. He's digging it. He likes my idea. He says kind of like how Jerry the King Lawler did back in the Attitude Era. Jerry the King could get called in for matches during commentary and then go back and retain doing it. I say do that. Just no heart attack this time.
Yeah.
That was a dark moment in wrestling. Boy, that was a dark moment.
Yeah.
But like I said, we saw a very rare Charlotte tapping out.
Yeah, surprised me.
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense with her apparently taking an extended break. It's been rumored she's going to miss a few months. It just surprised me it happened on Raw. I figured that was going to happen at the pay-per-view. I thought that's what they were building to. I just didn't expect it to be last night.
Yeah. So I'll say this. Now, I didn't hop online to confirm that anybody was complaining. But I imagined people may have been upset that Asuka can't get a quote-unquote clean victory over Charlotte. Like, they need to have some outside force for the reason why Asuka can pick up the win. In this case, I'm not mad at it because it was Charlotte's own ignorance. Nobody just jumped Charlotte beforehand. Charlotte interjected herself into a segment early on that she had no business being a part of, got herself into a brawl willingly. So this was still Charlotte being her worst enemy. This was not, like, Asuka did not technically get outside help. Even though you can blame the injury on Nia, it was still Charlotte's own ignorance that put herself in that situation to begin with. So I'm not too mad. Now, would I like to see Asuka beat Charlotte and there be no excuses? Of course.
No, it'll happen.
Yeah, but this, I didn't have an issue with this. And I hope that no one got like too uppity, like they're protecting Charlotte. I felt like this was still a very, very good victory for Asuka.
Yeah, people love to hop on the Asuka's been buried, not being used full potential before she was handed the belt and all this. She has officially tapped out all 4 horsewomen now.
Yeah, she has, hasn't she? Because she tapped out Becky at Royal Rumble. She made Bayley pass out in NXT. She's the one who sent Bayley to the main roster, isn't she?
Maybe.
I want to say she passed out Bayley and then Bayley was called up.
Well, which I think she made her tap on episode of SmackDown too, and she did make Sasha tap on an episode of Raw.
Yeah, that's the only one I can't recall the situation. I can't recall the match.
That's it.
I can recall the other three, which is surprising because I have a notoriously terrible memory. That's one of the things I joked about on game night when Vince introduced me. He's like, Kyle, introduce yourself. And I was like, people might expect me to do good because I like to think that my hot takes on wrestling are very relatable, but that can get misconstrued as actually having to know a lot about wrestling. And it's actually, I really don't. I forget. Once a episode of Raw or SmackDown is like 2 weeks old, I'm going to have the hardest time recalling what happened.
I remember a lot, dude. That's one thing I can say about myself. I do remember some stuff.
Like, if we could power rank everyone's memory on the SmackDown podcast, I'm sure I'm in last place, and it's probably a toss-up. However, I would give you first and probably Jay Thunder second.
Yeah.
Because you actively go out and watch stuff, like, every day. You're watching the network.
Yeah.
You kind of like how Eminem, like, would read the dictionary to be good at rap. Like, you just continuously watch wrestling to keep yourself sharp.
I do. Like I said, I'm almost finished with 03 Royal Rumble. I have 2 matches left before we start. So.
We're going to be doing I'm going to be the one actually hosting game night if I can get a couple things done today. I'm going to have to get you on the show, man.
We'll try.
After this match, we got Nia was backstage. She got interviewed by, I can't recall who, one of them, and Nia said something along the lines like, it would be terrible for someone to kick Charlotte while she's down, insinuating like, I'm gonna go jump that chick at some point. I thought she was just gonna like say that and then run out to the ring and beat her up, but I know you were a huge fan of the next part, Edge's little pre-tape promo.
I'm not even going to go over lines. One line I will say was you'll be wishing Cowboy Bob shot blanks that night. Yeah. But I'm not even going to try to give this promo justice.
To try and paint a picture, this was pre-tape. This wasn't like Edge was at the arena. Edge is obviously probably at that ring that they let him build in his garage. And it's dark in there. He's sitting against the turnbuckle, like it's up close. He's obviously sitting down. He's got like a spotlight on him, so it's really well lit and very personal in his face. And essentially, this promo, continuing on the serious side of things, I believe is Randy Orton just couldn't let it go. It's not enough to be like the best wrestler or win the best wrestling match, whatever. But the real message across this is we are getting the Rated R Superstar back. We're getting the Rated R Superstar Edge, which I personally have a hard time differentiating the Rated R Superstar from other Edge personas. I feel like once Matt Hardy happened, he was always the Rated R Superstar, whether he was face or heel. It was just main event Edge is how I kind of interpreted Rated R. So I don't know exactly what about his character is Rated R outside of he's like a singles main eventer.
He just not just more. He was a lot more edgier when he became the Rated R Superstar. And I guess that's kind of the point.
I mean, he did the live sex show. That was the debut of the Rated R Superstar was the live sex celebration.
He gave no fucks, and I guess that's really the point of it.
He needs to be dropping F-bombs. That's what it needs to be. He needs to drop F-bombs like on every promo.
And not just the Edge's promo, Randy's promo after. The mic work, the promos of this program for, since February now, has been absolutely outstanding.
Randy Orton, honestly, I'm not going to lie, later on in the night blew me away.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not...
Open my door. I really feel like there's something on my porch.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Like I said, to you guys with the audio podcast, I do apologize. I know you guys are picking up. This cat is stealing the show right now. So Sebastian has walked off frame. I think he may have muted his mic. He could be smothering it with a pillow. I don't know. I don't endorse that if he is. But it is kind of odd because it did get real quiet. Let's see what happened. I guess I'll keep it moving. I'll keep it moving while Sebastian takes care of the cat. 24/7 championship. Yes, so R-Truth comes out. He's going to have a match, scheduled match with Tozawa, which I always think it's funny to have a scheduled 24/7 championship match. The whole gimmick of that thing is it's supposed to be happening backstage and in between matches and stuff. Before the match could begin, Bobby Lashley, who just has this thing about Truth, man. Bobby Lashley just hates Truth, his character, along with MVP. Bobby comes out. He attacks Truth. He puts him in the full Nelson. Truth is tapping out. This is the only part I haven't understood for the last, I guess couple weeks this has happened. Truth has tapped out to the full Nelson on multiple occasions now. However, no ref has called for the bell and awarded Bobby Lashley the championship. So that's the only thing I don't understand is how Truth can literally tap out in a submission in the presence of a referee and the title not go to Bobby Lashley. Someone can go ahead and explain that to me. However, Truth being laid out, Tozawa pops up. He sees the opportunity. He scurries in the ring. He pins Truth. Tozawa is now the 24/7 champion, and we're going to see Tozawa, whoever's trying to get the belt from Tozawa, is going to have to get through his ninjas, going to have a secondary boss in the big ninja before they can finally reach Tozawa and try to get the belt off him. I think it's going to be comedy gold. I hope they play it out right. I think it's going to be good. Unfortunately for Blowout, this might be it for the 24/7 I-95. Been watching Reno 911 episodes all week long champion. All right, I don't know if this is going to be it for him.
To be fair, has that title ever changed hand by submission?
It can, though. There's no...
Did they say it could?
I mean, it's
even like the hardcore title had 24/7 rules. I'm trying to think back. I don't remember
anybody tapping out. You would think Steve Blackman would have tapped someone out at some point.
And again, I was like 6 or 7 years old at the time.
Yeah, no, the 24/7 championship, that's a tough one.
So maybe that's why. Maybe it's just...
What are the rules? I don't know, man.
And Bobby Lashley didn't want the title anyway, so fuck it.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that all the top guys don't even
care. They've had a chance to on a couple occasions now. Yeah. Superstar says, I think it was 24/7 rules. I don't know, man. It's hard to say. Oh, as far as the hardcore championship, it was. You had Crash Holly defending that stuff at like a freaking Chuck E. Cheese.
Well, that is a thing too. I feel like when they actually have a match with it, they do announce that the 24/7 rules are suspended when they have start a match.
Yeah, that's true.
So that could be a reason too.
It could be. It's so awkward. The 24/7. That is such a belt with some of the most complicated continuity, but oh well, man, it's still fun.
Yeah.
As long as they can keep me laughing, man, I'm cool. Natalia, in an interview earlier, is berating the interviewer that they had their chance to interview her instead of, I want to say Charlotte, but she was like, I was going to announce something, but now you're going to have to wait like everybody else. And I'm assuming the announcement is that Natalia is now teaming with Lana, because Natalia came out for her match against Liv Morgan, and she was flanked by Lana. So I'm assuming, because I can't recall her announcing anything else.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if it's teaming or just management.
It's got to be manager. Like, I mean, listen, I'm not a wrestler. I try to not judge anyone's wrestling ability. I'm not perfect, but I try not to. However, Lana, her best work is outside the ring. If you're gonna judge her work, it is. I wouldn't mind seeing like a big spot from Lana, like as a manager, like kind of like, I know Zelina Vega's definitely can wrestle, but like Vega hitting like a Hurricanrana out of nowhere. Maybe Lana could have like a special move once in a while that she works on. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the positive here. But Lana did prove to be useful, because in this match against Liv Morgan, Lana proved distraction, allowing Natalia to hit a chop block, roll it over into the sharpshooter. She picks up the win, tapping out Liv Morgan. And that's it. I saw a bad joke about this, and It said the good thing about Natalya and Lana teaming up is they've now reduced their segments into just one segment a show. Instead of getting a segment per character, we've consolidated.
You know my thoughts on Natty, so. I mean, she's great in the ring, don't get me wrong.
I respect the hell out of Natalya. I respect the hell
Yeah,
out
I
of
mean,
her.
she's great in the ring. It's just, as far as promos or making me invested in anything, it's just.
It's kind of like what I said about Dolph Ziggler. Her matches feel like they never have any stakes. Like, that's just kind of what it is.
See, I don't even feel like that way with Dolph because you go back, I mean, Dolph, his stuff with The Miz, that was probably the last 5 years when the IC title felt as important, like, the most important.
Yeah.
And, he made his match against Dean Ambrose seem important. It's just.
Honestly, the last match I really felt was important for Dolph was his IC run. It was the championship versus.
Career with Miz. Yeah, that's fun.
With Miz. Dude, I thought I turned my notifications down.
And they even made, I want to say they main evented that pay-per-view.
I think so, too. That was a really good match, man. That was a really good one.
I mean, so at least Dolph has made me invested before. That he just never has. I don't know.
I don't know either. Let's see.
Oh. Even with when he was with Drew, like I thought they did really well together. Like I was invested in them as a duo. That was 2 years ago. So yeah. I don't know.
I gotta say this. I just gotta plug this really quick. You can't see this off screen. I'm gonna try and turn my camera really quick. But my wife got me a mini fridge for Father's Day, and so like on the YouTube version, you may see me keep reaching off frame and pulling back drinks. Yeah, that's the mini fridge my wife got. Let me see if I can get it really quick, really. That junk right there. That is the junk, man. I'm telling you. I never thought I wanted a mini fridge, but I am so stoked she got me that. Uh-oh.
They were two dogs on my porch, by the way. That's why my cat was going
That's
insane.
Why the cat was going nuts?
Yeah. 2 stray dogs. I don't know where they came from, but...
Yeah, they're still good boys. Now you're going to see me, if you're watching YouTube, fidget with my camera the whole time. Oh, I just had to show off my damn fridge, didn't I? There we go. Superstar says, "Woo!" Oh God, blew up the mic.
Next we had that real segment you enjoyed, Kyle, and I enjoyed it too.
Go ahead, go into it while I fidget with my damn camera.
We had Ric Flair come out with Randy Orton, and of course, how would you say it? Name him or give him the title of, I guess.
Pronounce him,
yes.
Greatest wrestler in WWE history. Yeah. I'll say this. I love Ric Flair, man. But there are times when I see him on camera and I'm just like, oh boy. Like you could see just how old and aging, and it doesn't help that all the health scares he had over the years. But he really does wear his age a lot more nowadays. But you can tell when he's firing because his promo ability is still there. It comes and goes. Proclaim. Thank you, unknown superstar. He proclaimed him. Yes.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
But I caught a glimpse of Flair and Orton. They were staring down the camera. And I was like, oh, boy, that is old man Flair right there. I love him to death, though. I love him to death. It just makes me worried, man. It just makes me want to value the time that we still have with Flair.
I'm shocked. We didn't see outrage over him calling Nia a man. I was waiting on that one.
Oh yeah, because he did touch on the whole Nia.
Yeah,
and
he's
Charlotte.
like, I don't know how big of a man you think you are. And when he said that, I was like, oh, this is not going to go well.
But yeah, it really was just like Orton and Flair. Patting Orton on the back. Orton starts going into nostalgia, talking on like seeing him next to Flair will give you that evolution nostalgia. And but he's like, this whole taking out Edge and Christian isn't legend killer nostalgia. That's gonna be my legacy. This whole time when Orton was talking, I'm like, oh God, he's gonna RKO Flair. Like he's gonna. I seriously thought like. because you can't trust Orton no matter who you are. He's like Stone Cold, man. He'll hit anybody and everybody.
I kind of felt like that until they had the Big Show interview, like right before this segment, and I was like, okay, nothing's gonna happen to Flair.
Yeah. Yeah, Big Show came out in defense of Edge and Christian. Can't remember too much what he said other than, like, he's still an angry giant. Big Show was really turning on the aggression. We had an interview earlier where he was leaning into his, like, comedy, lovable guy. And, and even plugged the Big Show show on Netflix, which I checked out. Very cheesy, but...
yeah, it's cheesy. I tried to watch a couple episodes, too, not long ago.
It's endearing. It's got an audience. I don't know. But then he's like, but I'm going to leave that guy back here. I'm going to be that angry giant out in there. And it was good. But the thing about it is Orton gave probably one of the best promos I ever heard out of him. It was amazing. Like, I don't even remember half the crap he said. Just that he did label Show as a legend. He was like, you know what you look like to me right now? You look like a legend.
And the eye squint. And the eye squint, dude. That little eye squint, I was like, oh, man. Randy Orton, I can't even believe I'm saying this. Is it fair to say he's, right now, maybe the best in the world? Like,
He's turning it on, man. He's getting a resurgence.
I don't remember a bad segment he's had in 2020.
No, yeah, he's really come out motivated, and that's the thing that everybody always says about Randy Orton.
And he went in that promo. He said that in that promo. He's like, "Show, you see me? I'm focused. I am motivated.
Yeah,
and you know what I do."
He had a fire lit in his ass, is what it was. Because Randy Orton's always got that, like, sauntering through his promos. He never really sounds like he has too much a sense of urgency. His RPMs, he always talks very slow and deliberate. And this, he was talking frantic. He was speaking fast. He was speaking loud. It was a very, very different cadence from Randy Orton, and it instantly captivated me. And then when he was talking, like I said, he sounded like he had a fire lit under his ass when he went off, and it was so captivating. Like, that's...
And
I was just going to top it off with, I was like, if there's one thing you could go back and watch out of the 3 hours of Raw, I would say it's the Randy Orton promo. If someone asked me, like, I only got time to watch one segment.
Not just that one. Like, the one responding to Edge, Randy Orton's promos, man, have been top-notch. I mean, it's just been phenomenal. But, yeah, I loved him diving into the whole, I'm focused, I'm motivated, and you know what that means. I mean,
it was incredible.
And he has 10 more years. 10 more years he's wanting to do this.
Go until he's 50. I mean, look, Chris Jericho's doing it.
And with his style, it's not crazy to think he can.
Like I said, world title reigns. He's sitting at 13. He's sitting at 13 reigns. We went
possibly
into this,
a 14 coming up. I feel like him and Drew's SummerSlam. That's the play.
Him and Drew've got awesome chemistry. Back when they did their little bit of interaction a couple months ago, and they traded chops off, like, they just had awesome chemistry in the ring. And also, it made Orton look hilarious, because Orton in the ring, you could hear him. He's not mic'd up or nothing, but you could hear him shouting at Drew. I still remember. He's like, "You're mad because I'm taller than you, and I'm, like, bigger than you." And it's like, I never really noticed how big Randy Orton was until he stood eye to eye with Drew, man. And he is, dude.
Yeah,
he's a big boy, man. But yeah, so the only people with world title reigns in WWE more than Orton that are acknowledged is Triple H, John Cena, and Ric Flair. That's it, man. He's got a very short line in front of him. And he's only one title reign away from tying Triple H, who's sitting at 14.
If anybody asks me who I think's the top right now, it's Randy. He's on another level to me. It's Shawn Michaels like stuff, man. To do what he's doing, career-defining stuff at the age of 40.
Yeah.
It's just outstanding.
And like you said, his style allows him to go into older age. Because he's never been like the fastest paced guy or high flying guy. People mock him, like rest holds and stuff.
He's had this figured out the entire time.
He really has, man.
I mean, he really has. He's had it figured out, and everybody gives him shit, but this guy's going to be making millions till he's 50.
Yeah, I mean, hell yeah. What do you think of the women's tag team championship match?
It was fine.
It was fine.
It wasn't bad. It was just shorter than I expected it to be.
It was all about the post-match segment is all it was about. Sasha and Bayley took on the Iconics. It was a straightforward match. The Iconics had some good stuff. Like at the very beginning of the match, Sasha had her back turned. And when she turned around, Peyton Royce delivered a big boot and looked like she was going to steal the victory within the first 10 seconds of the match. Later on, we did get a tease like they might win. They were going to put, I want to say, Sasha again in their version of the Magic Killer. But Sasha got out. She was able to wrestle down, I want to see Peyton Royce.
Yeah, Royce
into the bank statement, which I like that she's now putting people in the bank statement without doing the backstabber first. Like she can wrestle him down kind of like Chris Benoit would into the crippler crossface, which makes more sense. I was like, you have a million ways to get into that move. You don't need to rely just on the backstabber into it. So I do like that she does that. And she taps out Peyton. But after the match, oh boy, this is where it got really good. The lights are dim. You got Sasha and Bayley next to each other. Sasha hops on the mic, staring Bayley down, really trying to emphasize, like, Bayley, you're my friend. I have no ill will, but watching you walk around with 2 belts, it's got me jealous, you know? And she's like, I really want you to know we're friends. She's really trying to let Bayley know she doesn't intend on turning on her, but she was like, I'm proclaiming a title match. And then she pauses, and then she says, against Asuka. So there's the big swerve. We thought we were getting the Sasha turn.
It was really greatly done.
Yeah. No, I was like, oh damn, okay, they're doing it now. They're hot shotting it. I was hook, line, and sinker. It wasn't until the long pause I was like, oh, she's gonna call out Asuka. Like they're swerving us. Like I caught it like right at the end. I caught the swerve, but yeah, it was good. Asuka came out. Asuka got attacked, didn't she?
Yeah, she got
attacked. She got jumped. It was 2-on-1.
Bank statement as well.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're gonna get Asuka and Sasha at Extreme Rules. Man, what if we get the tag team double champs? Like, it'd be interesting.
2-man power trip.
Yeah, I think this is where though the catalyst for the breakup will happen though.
Me too.
I think Bayley's gonna cost Sasha the match.
I don't even know if it'll be maybe on that side. I don't think it'll be like outright.
No, not intentional. No. I'm saying like Bayley will cost Sasha the match, and Sasha won't be able to let it go. Like Sasha just won't be able to let it go.
Yeah, definitely possible. I don't think she's beating Asuka. It just wouldn't make too much sense.
It'd be cool. I think it'd be cool. I'd be here for it. But you're right. I don't think it'll happen.
Unless they're playing on a winner takes all type thing with them, it just wouldn't make sense. And right now with the
No. You need a catalyst for the breakup. You know, the whole little just getting irritated here and there, that's not enough to warrant it. You need a big moment to get one to turn on the other.
Yep.
So I think that'll happen there. At least that'll lay the foundation for it. I got to tell you, man, MVP still like my favorite guy on Raw. Like absolutely. What they coin him and Bobby Lashley's little stable name, even though it's just 2 guys. Said something Pain.
I didn't even realize their name.
Yeah, no, they did. Earlier in the night. Let me see here. Go ahead and talk through the segment. I'm going to try and look it up.
I missed that. We had an MVP lounge, Apollo Crews as the guest. MVP was pretty much trying to recruit Apollo to join the little faction. Apollo was, saying no, I don't want that. I don't want people doing my jobs for me. And MVP basically said, we can do it the hard way or easy way, but that U.S. title is coming with us. And I really did enjoy MVP calling back to his U.S. title run because it was one of the top U.S. title runs we've had, especially in the Ruthless Aggression area. So I enjoyed that. Shelton comes out. MVP goes out of the ring. MVP says, 1 second, Shelton, leave him alone for 1 moment. Let me talk to Apollo. Apollo turns his head.
Yo, that's it. Go ahead.
Apollo turns his head, gets whacked, and I love MVP, man. He's like, lesson number one.
He's like, this is the only one I'm giving you for free. Never go into a 2-on-1 disadvantage because you'll get distracted or something.
You'll get distracted and you'll get hit by your blind side. Man, I was like,
my God, dude. MVP in the short time he's been back. Like, he's literally only been back for maybe, since Royal Rumble. Since Royal Rumble, he's been back. And he has become one of, if not the best talker on Raw. Like, that dude on a mic kills it. Like, there's no one better, I think, on the mic right now. Maybe Paul Heyman, but his shtick is so, like, we heard it, like, everything over the years. Like, MVP is so refreshing on the mic. Oh my God, I love it, man.
He's at this manager role, and he's pulled it off perfectly already. It's really something to say about Raw too. Not so much on SmackDown because, of course, the Goldberg thing didn't really go well. But on Raw, man, you go back, Edge. They brought him back, and they've gotten a lot out of Edge. Rey Mysterio, they've gotten more out of Rey than I ever thought they would at his point of his career. MVP's another guy on that list. I don't mind you bringing these guys back if you're going to get production out of them. Yeah. And they're not a bust. So Raw has done that really well, I think. But no, we just had the match. Apollo shot. This was another short match, man. We had 4 title matches, and I don't think one of them went past 12 minutes.
Well, if you're going to have 4 title matches, they have to be quick. You can't.
Yeah, but I figured at least one would, get a couple segments. But I don't even think this one might have been 7, 8 minutes. It was really short.
I mean, Apollo did. I mean, Shelton Benjamin did look good for a minute there when he sent Apollo into, I think, the ring post or something.
Yeah.
But then, of course, Shelton Benjamin himself went into the ring post, and that was his undoing.
Yeah. Then we got did they name the bomb?
The what?
The power bomb. Did they give it a name? I don't
know. I still call it like a backdrop power bomb.
I'm gonna call it the Apollo bomb. He hit the Apollo bomb for the 1, 2, 3. I guess Shelton's going to pretty much join this group now. It only makes sense since Apollo turned it down and the MVP is wanting to grow it, especially given that they've named it apparently. But after the match, MVP tries to raise Apollo's hands. Apollo pushes him back, and then he gets put in the full Nelson by Bobby.
Yeah.
Gets put out. So it looks like we're getting Apollo and Bobby at Extreme Rules, and I'm down for it, dude. I really like how they've gone with Extreme Rules so far. I'm excited.
Yeah, I am too. MVP says he does tell Apollo one thing is like, look, that U.S. title is coming over to me. Whether it's you being taken under my wing and me managing you, or I'm going to be responsible for taking it off of you. I do love that he hit him with the line that it was like, he told Apollo, like, how long you been champ? 3 weeks? And then he hit him with, like, he is like over 300 something days. Like, he was over a year as U.S. champion.
On a top U.S.
Yeah, like I said, I forgot how long, like how big, because I never saw him during his U.S. title run, but I guess he really is, MVP really is one of the most iconic U.S. champions. Just kind of gets overshadowed by like John Cena doing like the open challenge, whenever you talk the U.S. title picture, but MVP was a big one too. Oh my God, what was that?
Some dishes just fell. Like off the dish strainer.
It sounded like, dude, I really thought I was going to watch via YouTube you broken into in your house, man. Sorry about that for the podcast listeners. That was loud as hell.
I don't know what happened there. It was in a dish strainer and I just fell.
Apparently over at Sebastian's house, he's got a poltergeist. Just knocking dishes down.
I don't know, man.
For the love of God, dude, you scared me, man. I'm over here on Twitter trying my hardest to find this damn staple dame. MVP and Bobby Lashley.
What, the cat's over there, so I don't know what the fuck happened.
Oh my God. I give up. I can't find it. Superstar Blowout says delivering pain. I don't think that's it, but it's close to it. Like, that's something. They'll drop it again next week, and I'll make sure to.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. After the match, I like it. Apollo was walking up the ramp, and MVP behind him, because Apollo's walking up backwards, and MVP like raises his hand, and Apollo once again is like, "Don't touch me," and it distracts Apollo enough for Bobby Lashley come out, hit the full Nelson. Is Apollo going to be beat into submission into this stable, or is he going to be the babyface to rival him? I don't see Apollo rivaling MVP and Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, I don't either. I'll be honest though, if Bobby gets that belt, Bobby's going to hang on to that belt for a long time. I feel
he'll make it a very, very legitimate belt. No offense to Apollo,
yeah.
but he'll make it a legitimate belt.
But I mean, he just had that really good feud with Drew. Obviously, they've been pushing him, and he didn't really lose clean to Drew. Every finish, had something, and it's obvious they got big plans for him. He's going to make that belt something if he gets it.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I could see Apollo doing it, but like we said last week, I think Apollo's potential was showing edge. Like, not necessarily turning heel, but like, he resorted to grabbing the ropes like Shelton Benjamin. And I feel like this week was they wanted to solidify like, oh, we don't want people to think Apollo Crews is turning heel. So we got to run it back and give him a clean victory, because too many people thought it was like, oh, that's a sign of him joining up with MVP. He's showing shades of being a heel, so he's going to join a heel stable. That's kind of how I read it. He had to like reestablish himself that, oh, I am a babyface, which, like I said, I'm not a fan of, man. I want to see an edge, like an edge on Apollo Crews, man. That's the Apollo I want. I really do want to see Apollo under MVP. I don't know why you're turning him down. Like, it just, MVP would definitely make you into a huge star.
He's done a very good job of Bobby.
I'm telling you. Another person that might be becoming a huge star is Dominic. Dominic really held his own in the closing segment of Raw. Can you imagine that? You're a kid, you don't have a professional wrestling match to your name, but you're involved now in like the main event spot of Monday Night Raw. And he shined, man. He did a good job. Everybody did, honestly. Yeah, so Rey Mysterio comes out with Dominic. They plan on, getting even with Seth Rollins. That's just this whole feud that's brewing. Seth comes out, says essentially he's willing to fight him. He'll fight him for the greater good.
All about the greater good.
The greater good. I had to get one of those in the show. But before Seth makes his way to the ring, he drops to his knees. Very, very, like... I gotta say, this character is complex, man. Like, at times I'm like, dude, Seth is dark. Like, he disturbs me. Like, he legitimately disturbs me at times. But out comes Austin Theory and Buddy Murphy. But before they get to the ring, and we're thinking, it's going to be 3-on-2. They're going to beat down the faces. Aleister Black and Humberto Carrillo, they return. They even the odds, 5-on-3. Everyone's beating down everyone. I love that Dominic in the ring was essentially a traffic cop. He got like a couple punches on Murphy, I think, but he literally was just like directing everybody, like, you plancha over here, you suicide dive over on that guy. It was pretty comical, man. But I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Eventually, though, the heels did get the upper hand, surprisingly. And because, at first, Seth Rollins was being led to the stairs by Rey and Dominic, and they looked like, an eye for an eye is the whole theme here. But Austin Theory and Buddy Murphy apparently laid out Carrillo and Black, and they even the odds. Then they're holding down Rey while Seth Rollins is forcing Dominic's face onto the stairs, until finally Carrillo and Black emerge with some chairs, run off the heels up the ramp while all the faces jump in the ring. Did you notice? And I adore this, and as a dad, and I think you can relate if you're kind of like a sappy guy like me, when it comes, like, Rey loves his kids, and I think every parent does, but Rey can't even hide how much he does. He constantly gives Dominic a kiss on the cheek, in all of his promos. But like when Rey saw Dominic, even as a work, it's all staged. As a work, seeing his kid in danger, simulated danger, Rey looked like he was legitimately crying. when Dominic broke free, and he grabbed Dominic and he looked at Seth, man, and he gave Seth a legitimate death stare. It was go back and watch just those final like 10 seconds of emotion on Ray's face, and oh man, it was legitimate, man. Other than that, or he's like an Oscar-worthy actor.
Am I a bad guy for wanting to see Dominic's eye get took out? Like when this segment started, that's what I wanted. And then at the end, when they was going for it, I was like, yes! I saw you fucking put his eyeball in that step right now.
So how long until Dominic turns on his dad and joins Seth?
Well,
that's the only place this is going. That's where this is going.
Well, that might be determined by outside stuff. I don't know if you've seen some stuff this morning.
No.
But yeah, Austin Fury's caught up in some stuff. But
oh, okay.
So I don't know. I don't know what the plan is from here. So it could be sooner now because of that.
Boy.
Could it? Maybe Extreme Rules now if they do in fact take him off TV for anything. So.
I know. You know what's kind of weird is how we talk about wrestling without like the news of the ongoings. Hey, you guys leave us a comment. Or in the live chat if you see it, if you want us to lightly touch on the wrestling news. We're not reporters, we're not journalists. Maybe once a week we do like 20 minutes to a half hour of wrestling news. We originally, when we started the show, we said we were going to, but once again, for the same reasons why we don't do other stuff, there's just not enough hours in the day. But who knows, man. Let us know if you want to hear the Smacked Raw crew try to touch on the news. Personally speaking, I wouldn't mind like reporting it, but I definitely don't want to give like my 2 cents on anything that goes on. I'm really not trying to be opinionated on the ongoing stuff.
It's pretty much the same stuff that's been going on the last few days.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Yeah. So maybe it's Extreme Rules if they have to push it for any outside influences.
You could fast track it. Extreme Rules. How many weeks is that away?
2, I want to say. Not this Sunday, but next. Well, I don't know.
A week from Sunday? Really? That quick?
No, I might be wrong. I don't think it is.
Extreme Rules, July 19th. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I was about to say 3 weeks.
Okay, we got a little bit of time before we get there.
Well, maybe not then. Jesus.
Yeah, no, you could get some story development by then.
Yeah.
You put Dominic and Rey on every week. And yeah, you could have that happen in Extreme Rules.
I just don't know. Say they do take Theory off TV.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's just him and Buddy taking on like 5 people. I don't know.
That's true. Rey could get. I mean, okay. We'll do this really quick. We'll spin the wheels. I'm gonna pull up the Raw roster. Who else could Seth recruit? I'll start off with. Here's a weird one. Bobby Roode.
He's gonna be wrapped up with Drew and Dolph. I feel.
No, Seth. Drew McIntyre just lays out Bobby Roode, and then Seth Rollins emerges with the black glove. And bam. Okay, so Bobby Roode, he's the first guy. Who else could we do?
I don't know. I don't know who's available for tapings. Like, that's the other thing about it. You can look at that roster, but who knows if they're capable of flying in right now with everything going on. I don't know, man.
It's hard to say. Let's take a look at who's on TV. I mean, okay, he could recruit Tozawa, and now he not only has Murphy and Tozawa, but now he's got all the ninjas.
Let's not go there.
What brand am I looking at? Is this NXT? What brand? This is current. No, I want to see Raw Superstars. Okay, you could pull back one of the authors of Pain, whichever one is not injured. Could do that.
Could bring one of them back.
Yeah, you could. Although I don't get why they don't like utilizing tag team wrestlers in singles competition while the other one's injured. The story writes itself. Like, I'm only doing singles competition because my partner's injured. And because, I mean, what was it? Jimmy or Jay did that when the other brother was injured a couple years ago. You got Cedric. You could do Cedric Alexander. They're not doing anything with him.
I did see a report that Mustafa Ali's on Raw now.
Yeah,
But,
well, there goes the whole hacker idea, right?
If it was Ali, I don't think it was ever Ali.
No, I don't think so either.
It was too obvious to be Ali.
Yeah.
But the only thing with that though, Ali says he never wants to go heel, because
he wants to be a role model.
Yeah.
I got you. No, that makes sense. He personally does want to be a role model. Riddick Moss.
Yeah, that's
former 24/7 champion.
Yeah, I haven't seen him.
Riddick Moss was the longest reigning 24/7 champion before Gronk.
Yeah. Sure, throw him in there.
Throw him in there. No, that's really it.
Yeah, there's
unless you want to use like a female like Shayna Baszler or someone else who's not getting used like Vic Joseph.
I mean, they'd have to mix him and Selena's group, like just make a big old power fucking.
Yeah, it's true. That is true. Shoot, pull in Charlie Caruso.
I don't know how Charlie Caruso versus Aleister Black would go. Seems like an unfair matchup.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No.
Really, when you bring it up like that, like I don't see Roderick Moss going against fucking Black or Rey Mysterio either. Like,
no, he's just the first level guy. He's just like the level 1 guy you beat. Kind of like a Midian in the Ministry of Darkness. Midian never got a win. He was just the first guy you defeated when you were trying to go at the Ministry of Darkness, you know?
Yeah.
Naked Midian. Dude came out wearing a fanny pack. Jesus.
It's just odd to think of the heels being outnumbered like that. And I caught that last night too. I was like, "There's 4 faces here, and there's 3 heels."
Yeah, didn't we get that on SmackDown as well? Where the heels were outnumbered. I want to say I can't remember what. I remember calling it though. I was like, can't remember who it was.
I didn't get to watch SmackDown Friday. Are you talking about this past Friday?
Maybe, I don't know. I remember it was a recent show. Like okay. I want to say it was SmackDown because I remember another show where the heels were outnumbered as well, and I was like, "Oh, that doesn't make much sense."
I had some family stuff Friday, so I didn't get to watch.
Gotcha. But yeah, that was Raw. It was once again, like we said, it was good. It's a good episode of Raw. Raw is low key been picking up steam. Still a hard thing to get through 3 hours. Like I said, we're shooting at 3 in the afternoon. Because of just it's so long, I get so tired. But really, yeah, that's it. Before we go, what else can we touch on? Follow us on Twitter at SmackDrawPod, myself at the Kaitai Show. Sebastian, where are you at?
At wrestling_sports. Oh, let's not forget to give a shout out to Belts by Dan.
Belts by Dan, yeah, go on there. Listen, they're a little pricey, but I mean, if you want an authentic championship, I know Unknown Superstar Blowout. This guy, he's all over Twitter showing off his replica belts. Man, go over to Belts by Dan, get you something legitimate, my friend. Also, WrestlingNewsWorld.com, make them your homepage for all your wrestling news. They even have a premium side. The money's going to a good cause, man. You got to support all these creators. And then, of course, the big thing that we have been leading up to that is just daunting to me is that I can't believe that we're even affiliated with it. But Synergy Pro Wrestling, they're putting on a show for the first responders on July 11th. It's on Fight, the Fight TV app, or just the Fight app. I can't remember. I think it's only like $12, man. And you go on there, you go ahead, purchase the pay-per-view, and then you can donate to the stream. And I do think all the proceeds, they go to the American Nurses Foundation, who are on the front line fighting COVID, which yours truly had to go get tested for today. You know what I mean? And when that woman came in, man, she was wrapped up. Like the nurse was gown, I think like double mask, face mask. I mean, it was like an alien trying to damn probe me. I'm not going to lie. Although the experience wasn't nearly as terrifying as people made it out, because they were like, oh man, they're going to shove something so far up your sinus, it's going to scrape your brain.
They usually do. My brother, they went pretty deep on him, so I don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe it was the fact because I was at kind of like one of those free clinics is where I went. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I picked my nose deeper than the swab they gave me, so I don't know. But yeah, man, it's for a good cause, you guys, and we all love pro wrestling. So how about we take something that we enjoy and actually put it towards a good cause? Because let's be honest, the last week it's been hard to be a wrestling fan. If you know what's going on outside, on the outside, man, it's been a tough one. But yeah. But that's it, man. I think that's everything we can plug. Oh, game night. Okay, so Vince is out this week. He just got a new job himself. The first episode of Game Night kind of went off the rails. It was fun, but we didn't feel like it reflected the best on the participants. Maybe one or two of us had a little too much to drink, and so we didn't produce the episode. If you watched it live, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I'm going to be trying to host it possibly Thursday. And then I'll be all over Twitter letting you guys know. Tune in for that. It's a lot of fun to shoot. Yeah, so hopefully Thursday night we'll be producing another episode of Game Night. We'll try to get a guest on from another show. Maybe Matt from the Smackin' It Raw podcast. Or I wonder who else. Who else could we get on the game show? Who else do we like? This is where you chime in, man. We can plug other people.
I was trying to think of his name, dude. The guy from Australia.
Australia. Oh, the Foul original?
Yes,
yeah.
Foul original. Yes.
Yeah. Shoot, it'd be like 4 a.m. if we got him on.
Oh, yeah, that's true, too.
I wanted to get Chris Dees, former writer of Wrestling News World, but he's over in Europe, so he's always several hours ahead of us, too.
Man, time zones are a bitch.
We could try to get one of the Get Show boys on.
Yeah.
Or the Get Show podcast guys. We could try to get one of them on. I'll reach out to them. I just got to get a hold of StreamYard, try it out, see what we can do with that. But yeah, we'll try that. Well, anyways, I think that's enough stuff to plug. You guys, thank you for joining us. Unknown Superstar, man, you've been hanging with us pretty much this whole show. Personal shout out to you, man. Thanks a bunch, man. And of course, until next time, you guys have a good one.
See ya.